Hey guys, welcome to another video. This one is for my review or campaign review of Battlefield Hardline. Now, like I say in all these videos, I'm not going to review the multiplayer and all that. Mainly because when this game came out, the multiplayer was dead by the first bit of DLC. So it's pretty bad. It did not succeed very well at all. But that's one of the biggest reasons why I did not play this game back in the day. I just had no interest. And I did want to see what the campaign was like, but I was going to wait till it went on a major sale. Then it went on Steam sale back in 2020 when EA was trying to migrate their games back over to Steam versus Origin. And I got it for like $10. And so I will say for the short answer that the campaign, I would say, is worth $10. I don't think I would think it's worth any more than $10. It did surprise me. The campaign is 10 episodes or chapters or however you want to call it. They call it episodes. Really, honestly, I thought this was going to be like a really short campaign, like maybe 5 episodes. You know, kind of like one of those Walking Dead games or something. I really just thought it was going to be pretty short like that. But hey, it was 10 episodes. It did last me a bit. I don't know, honestly, how many hours. Even the Steam page that says how many hours, I don't think that's completely accurate. But that is what I did play, was the campaign. And overall, I thought it was okay. Again, at $10, it was okay. But I don't think it's anything, that you really, really need to play. It's something that, it was in one ear, out the other. I played it. I completed it. Had an okay time with it. You're basically a cop that comes from Cuba. He comes in to be a cop. He gets framed by the police, and then he's convicted for a crime that he apparently didn't commit. The whole police force is corrupt. Then you pretty much stop them. A lot of the people are turncoats, sort of. So all the cops, except for your partner, who even she turns on you at one point. But then after that, they say, oh yeah, the police turned on me too, so I guess we're partners, which I thought that was kind of lame, to be honest. But other than that, it was an okay campaign. It's a Battlefield game, so there's no boss fights, obviously. You do get to do some stuff with the vehicles. One thing that was really interesting was, because you're a cop, your primary is actually your pistol, and your secondary is like an assault rifle or something like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting how they did that. They also have an arrest feature, which I can't say I was really a fan of. I appreciated they tried something, but the arrest feature, I found it didn't always work the best, because you have to click, the right stick to melee, and sometimes I would do that, and I would actually melee the person instead of arrest them, and then they all start shooting me. So I really didn't like that. I thought that could have been better implemented. I think, honestly, they should have given you the option, one or the other. Either you can choose, like, let's say a perk, quote-unquote, to do a perk to melee or a perk to arrest, but not do both. I just think that just should have been something in there, because, again, it would have fixed that issue. They also have, like, a little scanner thing. You scan for evidence, which brings me to my next point. I played this on the PC. And the PC version, if you have a controller plugged in, it still doesn't recognize the inputs, like as far as when you go to play the game. It still says the keyboard commands. So that took a little bit of working. I did get it to... I did manage to beat the game playing with the controller, but it was just the idea that I had to do all this workaround stuff to try and figure out what each button did. Because it wasn't just, every time the F button is up, that's always going to work for that. Or the click button is always, right trigger. It's not. It varies from things that you're doing. But it wasn't too difficult to figure out. The PC version, in and of itself, If you're looking for like 144 frames and stuff, I did play this at 1440p, 144 hertz. It didn't seem like it played at 144 frames to me. It felt like it played at 60, and maybe they just didn't do anything else with the game. Maybe it's just meant to play at 60. It looked like the gameplay was 60 and the cutscenes were at 30. I didn't have a frame rate counter to find out, but I could just kind of tell. I knew it wasn't playing as smooth as 144, and then I could tell when the cutscenes dipped, it was 30. So if you're expecting to get a really optimized, really high frame rate experience, you're probably not going to get that. Graphics-wise, it looked okay. It wasn't, like, mind-blowing. So there was that. The campaign, like I said, you play as this good cop, but he's framed for being a dirty cop. Basically, you just go on and defeat the whole police force. Even the very end is the chief of police. You beat him, and you collect his little safe of gold, and the game ends, which I thought was kind of weird because the guy that he's doing this for, or to, he collects it, and he goes, wow. But earlier in the game, he gets like a stack of money, and he doesn't want to take it. And while he's serving the prison time, his mom dies. His mom's important to him. His dad is abusive and stuff. So his mom's like the only person in his life. And even she dies in prison. So I'm like, while he's in prison, sorry. And it's like, okay, there's nothing to gain out of this. Just because you got this money, what are you going to do with it? I mean, other than, like, what, convict the police force that's corrupt against you or take it to internal affairs? Like, what are you going to do? It just didn't make any sense to me. So I definitely felt this campaign was just thrown together. It just felt like it was a last-minute thing. This whole game felt like just a last-minute thing. Hey, let's sell this based on the Battlefield name. It was probably some other game entirely, and they're just like, oh, let's sell it like this. For a final note, I did play this on the normal difficulty, and the difficulty I thought was pretty fair for normal. Completed it without too much problems, and that's really it. Again, I never had an interest to play the multiplayer. It's kind of funny. This is the first Battlefield game I've played in about 6.5 years. So the last time I played one was Battlefield 4 with the multiplayer, and that was back in December of 2015 when, like, the last content patch came out. And that was it. So I'm looking forward to playing the other campaigns just to see how they go. But as far as playing Battlefield for multiplayer, it's just not really in the cards for me anymore. I've kind of done that, been there, done that, and just no interest to play the multiplayer. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll probably have reviews for the other campaigns for Battlefield, but I don't know if that'll be the next video or not. We'll have to see. But thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Peace.